Pretty good. Do another one. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Pretty good. What instrument do you play? Okay, there you go. All right. Okay. We're not having you play guitar. No, you don't have to worry about that.
Tony, why don't you do an impersonation of the host wrapping up again?
Yeah, I am. Trust me. I promise you. It goes a little bit like this. Matt, it was good to have you. There you go. Matt Roberts, everybody. Started a little late. It was weird. It not get like that. You can sing one more. Turn up real. Let's see what we can get from down at the bottom here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Jonah Awa. Oh, woo-wee. Here goes Jonah.
Hi, my name is Jonathan Kawa, and I'm an Asian American. Yeah, so being Asian is very scary right now, especially for white people. Don't laugh tonight at my joke, or committing a hate crime. All right, white people, you better be laughing. Hey, white person, not laughing, hate crime. White person, not laughing, hate crime. Like Oprah. You're committing a hate crime. You're committing a hate crime. You're all committing a hate crime. But Tony, I'm very proud of you for not having a major meltdown right now and yelling racial slurs at me and just losing your mind. But you do have a major red flag for being a racist. I mean, come on, Tony, you're from fucking Ohio. Like, yeah, of course you're gonna be a racist.
Very good. Everybody, what were you gonna say that?
Yes, I just want to say, sorry, I took a chance, and I hope you show friends.
Okay. Really, you are alive and well. 5 days, baby. Wow, 65 days. This guy to wake up and get started. But now he's still right in California. Probably transforming better. And over. Stack up. We'll be back next week with the official nice. So second time, you just also that way started the show. Michael, one of those people that taken off for doing it. Start the show like it's regular. Just a couple months ago. So you are the great power.
Unprofessional.
I've seen that before. Michael, I was just like this man. The one no ramp. Come on. I was telling him what was what happened. Make a guy like on. So how long did you last? I was 5 minutes. That's respectful. That's pretty good for a room closet. Normally, room closet, the guy comes immediately thinking 30-year-old is wrong, and that's exactly how those guys. I think that's what most guys are into. You remember like what your sounds and face looked like when you came? Yeah. Oh, sorry, I did it again. That part might get edited out. I'm gonna be honest with you. Maybe even if you put a floor over my face, I went cross-eyed for no reason. That's insult. No, what was it like? How'd you found it? I was doing the linear motion, and then she disembarked. Oh wow! I didn't realize she was on a cruise ship this whole time. Gave me a little job with the condom on. Whoa! Talking back and forth, she says that I'm her little tater tot because I'm definite Irish. I found out she was a female member of QAnon, so I call her my little misinformation. Yeah, I would say don't try to pick up girls on Tinder, pick them up on Fox News. Use that app. It's a far more effective way of finding little cunts. Cheers.
There you go. Cheers. Jason Brown. Hi, Jason. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you.
You know where you're at right now?
Austin, Texas.
Hell yeah. How long you been here?
On and off for 5 years.
On and off for 5 years. You keep going back to Ireland and back?
Yeah, keep getting rewarded, keep trying to find a way back in.
So when's the last time that you were in Ireland?
2 years ago.
Yeah, August 20. You sort of got lucky with this whole coronavirus thing, huh?
I should have put it 4 months ago.
Yeah, that makes sense. Is there a special, do you travel by plane or do you just like take the rainbow or whatever the fuck you guys do? Like you just ride it?
Yeah, no, pretty much like, paying all over.
Regular airplane, Ryanair.
You know the cheap.
I know Ryanair, absolutely. Because I Yeah, we were on a real European there. Dublin? What part of Ireland are you?
I'm from the hour south of Dublin, called Carlow.
What's that place?
No, I'm kind of very, very little. There's like one or two rugby players. Oh, Saoirse Ronan, the actress.
I don't barely understand a word you're saying. Michael, can you translate for this man? I have no idea. I'd rather try to figure out Michael. This is what the Irish sound like to American ears. Carrying on in Texas. It's really hard to fathom. What do you do working when you're normally in Irish? What do you do for a living there?
I guess we have you really need to project your voice.
That's one tip I would give you every time a microphone's on in the magical land where you come from. But what do you do for work there?
I'm a cameraman, videographer.
Okay. A videographer.
I hold cameras and film things.
That's right. You try to sound like a goddamn American when you're on my show. You hear me, boy? All right, Jason. What do you miss about Ireland?
I know this area before. It's not the weather. Today is pretty similar. No, I miss everything. Everything else is better.
What do you love about Austin, Texas?
It's not a fun interview. I'm just answering questions. More crowd. It's good.
Question. That's good. Question. I'm glad to be answered to this point. I love it. You know how to dance like an Irishman?
Not a whole.
Oh, how many of you want to see him dance like an Irishman, everybody? Look at regular Irish. Compared to many Irish, sort of like exotic, right? Yeah. Jason Momoa or something like that. Jason Momoa, perhaps.
Oh, he's got the hard as fuck right now.
Yeah. So, how long?
I'll say 3 years.
Right. Started. Yeah. What's the difference between Irish comedy and American?
I did one week in Ireland and then moved to America.
Okay.
The big difference is there you are doing 8 minutes.
Irish girls and American girls.
American girls is Texas.
Oh, really? Irish girls don't? Wow. Are you an Irish virgin?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So you
One girl was half English, half Irish. She was my first girlfriend, and since then,
why do you think Irish girls don't like you?
I don't know. But why does anyone think Irish girls?
Why do Wait, we haven't thought of. We haven't had time to think about it. You got a whole life to think of. Try one of your wet. Anyone?
I'm with Irish. So I just I'm 3 years in comedy.
How many years? You have to count the lanes here. If you already pretty. I'm trying. Well, Jason, I love it. We got an Irishman on the show. We had a mentally ill firefighter up here earlier. I love it. Get a joke book, my friend. Hell yeah. There he goes, Jason Brennan, everybody. Jason B. Comedy, walking out with a little joke book. What do you think? What do you think, Mike?
Well, that guy,
Dallas Druin or Druin CL. He wrote with cursive Dallas @_bake. Dallas Druin. You have shitty handwriting, Dallas. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Dallas, everybody. Here he is. Oh, we know Dallas. Back.
how you doing, everybody? How's Vulcan doing tonight? Hell yeah, baby. First things first, if you know the last time I was on stage, you know I'm a lesbian. You also know I'm named after the Dallas Cowboys. It does make me a fact. Yes, it does. I actually got a call on the fact by a Packers fan whose name was the Fudge Packers first. He had a football team. Yeah, and he was 22, and he had a husband who was a Saints fan, and he used the NFL as like an aphrodisiac. Fucking each other the whole time. They're near fucking each other, analytically dissecting the fucking game better than Joe Buck. Fuck Joe Buck. Man. I know, right? I know, right? I called my 3-year-old nephew eating wasabi peas, sauerkraut, and horseradish. I think we may have found the next Ted Bundy. I really think we may have found, and my brother did not like it at all. He did not like it at all. I love him to death, but at the same time, I'm like, that's serial killer motive. 3 hours later, I was babysitting him and all that. Going, ugly eating and church. Yeah, well,
I wrote that today.
Fresh. That's
yes, sir.
welcome, Dallas.
Irvin, my bad. I write like a doctor. So I'm a retard.
Right. Okay. All right. Hi, Dallas.
Hey, buddy.
Hell yeah. Don't look like this, huh?
Oh, yeah.
We met Dallas a few months ago. We did a show at a place called, what's that place called?
Something like that.
Yeah, it was a venue. Center venue. I believe they sit every Monday night. Anyway,
I drove on today and they definitely were not full.
Oh, I know.
What is it with him though? It's like he changes hair and everything. He still has that lesbian look
because he wants to. He wants to look that way. So he can do his wacky lesbian stuff. Don't talk over me, guys. There's a man talking. Listen, all right?
Okay.
I know when you're around the ladies, you're the leader. I know you're the. We can all tell you're the bulldog of the group.
Definitely.
I can't believe your name You shouldn't. The way you look like a lesbian, your name should be Dawson. I can't believe they named you Dallas. That's so
right?
weird. Not that many lesbians in Dallas. Have you thought about like maybe just growing your hair out long? Have you thought about? But you love you have to do it for your lesbian jokes. Am I correct? Tell the truth.
Not really. It's just a fucking face. That's just really
like a haircut. When you go to get your haircut, what exactly do you tell your barber? And does she look exactly like you?
He ain't this pretty. But shit, dude, I just do like what my dad has done the whole time military cut with his short hair. It's like a Vietnam veteran.
What does your dad say when he sees your haircut?
Oh no, I do not know. I don't think I really don't even. He's not even talking to 76 years old.
Wow, you don't talk to your dad?
No, I talk to him.
You sound like a lesbian. Come on. Tell us something interesting about you that we don't know, Dallas.
Oh, well, we don't know. I mean, last time I told her I was good. Promise you, love it, bro.
For comedy, by the way. Thank you so much. Everyone. Called us. What? Anything interesting about your life, Dallas? We don't know about the history of your life.
I'm an artist.
Okay.
girlfriend. My biological mom was a pillhead and cannot tell me who my biological dad is. So I'm like quasi bastard.
Maybe that's why you write like a doctor. You're supposed to write her a fake prescription.
Oh no! First time meeting her when I was 11 years old. Like,
Amazing sound effect of sadness has happened. That's my favorite because he thought John was playing it for a second.
I really thought John was playing it. I was like, dude.
He did a real turnaround, like, come on, man.
But no, this was the exact conversation I had with Rhonda, my biological mom. I was like,
Rhonda?
Rhonda, yeah. Very like.
How many biological mothers did you have, dude?
No, Rhonda. This is the one.
Rhonda's a lesbian. Everything about you is lesbian. Rhonda. Okay. Go ahead. What did Rhonda tell you?
Dude, this is the exact word she said. Like, hey, who's my next fuck it. Isn't that weird finding out your mom's a like that?
Were you like, help me, Rhonda? Help me, Rhonda?
No. She was the one asking me for help. She's like, you got $40 I can buy? I was like, what do you need for tires? I was like, no. Starting new, like, I got pre-registered with brothers and stuff. And
Wow. Jesus Christ, Dallas. I love it. This is like more of like a heartfelt comedy show today.
I know, right?
What's the most exciting thing about your life right now?
The most exciting thing? Probably getting the chance to be around Austin Comics here in Austin, Texas. Getting the chance.
Oh my God! What is happening here tonight? My back is throbbing from having to carry this show. What's wrong with you people? This is amazing. What are you accepting an Academy Award right now?
God, really?
Oh God! Oh my God!
You're so amazing, Tony.
How many of you want me to murder this man right now on this stage? Love it. Love it. Michael, what are your thoughts on this guy?
You live in the
Do you have any plans before your mass shooting?
Oh, probably go see Black Widow.
What's the craziest?
Horrible.
What's the worst kind of fight?
I shot in a cop car when I was 18.
How do you do that?
They were arresting someone, they left it open somehow. And, Street Northwest, Shreveport, Louisiana.
Okay. All right. Right. One of the guys followed you out here in the face.
But I'm sorry.
So you got in the cop car and you just
Cop car. I had the door open. Dealing with something. I have to lock it up. Rocket.
All right. Dallas Irvin, thank you so much for coming back on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Dallas Irvin, everybody. Here, you go, Dallas. Here you go. Take one of those little notebooks in Kabaza. Follow on it. Phone by with. So let's do something fun. Let's pick up the pace a little bit. You guys want to do something special? One of our and you know this guy is one of the great producers of America. This is if I get a white girl, like I want a real white girl. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to be a white girl. Like
Like, I want my white girl to be so white that she might have a relationship with pregnant. I still don't know how to like, I'm still so scared of y'all. Like, what do I do? Be like a train of pink out of my dick? You know, like, discipline a white woman the way you want to. Because, like, as soon as you put your hands around her neck, she turn red. Bitch, I'm going to do that.
I think David one of our four fellas. Alex, welcome back in town. How are you? Oh yeah. What are you doing? Headlining around the country? Leveled up?
Damn right.
On it? Hundreds of tickets sold?
Yes, sir.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations. Tell Tony and his team hard at work. You hungry to perform and hungry. What's so funny?
When I was at the Tacoma this past, I was afraid after I did somebody in the audience was,
Oh, that's awesome. I love like pregnant. Tell their parents and they meet you. Oh, he's 8 months pregnant as well. So that's perfect. It's a match made in heaven.
That's like a big photo bear.
I don't know what you're recognize the broom closet. Mom's had sex in last week.
Just like a gay.
Oh, yeah. Normally the things you hanging off your tits. I love it.
That son of a pants are wearing.
Chicken breast awareness. I'm asking you now. I want a real answer.
Judging by your shirt, you know gay guys pick out their bedroom.
Everyone knows David. Fuck. Alright. Or maybe that's definitely not your thoughts.
Right. Yeah, I love to watch. I go to this. Right back to yourself.
Great man. Oh wait. Punches it up.
Right, that's right. He dressed like the CEO of White Claw.
5-pound bag.
I got to go fast on your way. Right.
Introducing Brando full of volunteers. I'm Dr. Shannon. That's my secret to control ever. Brando's unlike anything I've ever tried. Shopping.com.
After a horse accident. I went for a miracle. And we're I do.
Michael cuts his own. David cuts his own cards.
And you cut your own ass with the press.
Oh my God! Come on. That doesn't even make any.
People cut their wrist when they get to cut your ass.
Oh my God! I don't know how you found out about that. My secret.
Only booty look like the.
David's booty looks like the monster under your bed. Bitch. Like a paint. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. How about that for a joke? Fuck you. After all I've done for you, paint sample, you're out headlining now. Paint sample. But I mean, if anybody knows anything about samples, it's you, right? This guy goes to Costco, doesn't spend a penny. I'll borrow your membership just to get in. I guess I'm supposed to run a Costco. Yeah, we do. Alright. HEB, what's HEB, everybody? Hell yeah. Excited to be on stage, especially with Michael. Less than a year. Except when Michael gets married, he's gonna get married with still attached to him. So that's very exciting. Very exciting. Oh, that means they really think you're gonna get diabetes, by the way. That's making that much and not enough laughter means they really believe that you can start eating better. This is no joke anymore. This is an intervention. Yes. We actually brought a vegetable platter for you to begin.
You're on the road with Brendan Shaw. Did he like get on you about that shit? Like,
Because Brendan called I don't think he knew what he was getting into with you. He's like, that's it. Guys, airplanes? I could hire two of them.
I use
You are an absolute monster. I love it when you're in town here and he hustles back as often as he can. He's here usually 3-4 Mondays out of the month. It's absolutely incredible. You love it here in Austin, right? Ladies and gentlemen, that was David Lucas, everybody. We're going to keep on moving along here. Oh, that was incredible. David, yeah, we didn't get this. David, come you having first week we're editing and works out, and then last week we tried sleeping them 16 times in 8 minutes. In 8 minutes.
I almost said the N-word right now.
I know. I know.
That's not that bad.
So, by the way, so did I. 16 times in 8 minutes?
So per 30 seconds.
Yeah. Do you notice you do that like every day, like when you're like Jamba Juice?
Yes, I heard the N-word in every
Jamba Juice. I mean the peanut butter one. But
I say the N-word to everybody. Everybody. Nobody's excluded.
you know what? The audience responded to this in a weird way. So,
You brought me up here about N-word users. They should.
right? Yeah, they're like, what's wrong with saying the N-word every 30 seconds? I don't get it. What does demonetize mean? I drive all the way from Round Rock to be here, and they're using big words. Demonetize. David, I love you so much. How about one more time for David Lucas, everybody? Back to the bucket we go. Back to the fucking bucket we go. Anything can happen. No one has more fun on Mondays. Your next comedian is Sonny Carlin. We get a little more volume on my mic. I don't know what's going on here.
I think it's
maybe I
monitors.
just can't hear it.
Maybe it's monitors.
There we go. Yeah, thank you. Beautiful. Sonny Carlin, everyone. Here we go. Here comes Sonny. You gotta put your hands together for the next comedian. Sonny Carlin.
What's going on, everybody? You guys doing all right? Yeah, well, my name is Sonny, because I've always been that cool white dude who could throw a football really far. But you have no idea if I'm gay or not. And you won't know until my thumb's in your asshole, but by then it's too late. We're both gay, bro. Might as well let it happen. Yeah. I am joking. Can't throw a football. Which was a point of contention with my father for a long time, because he always wanted a sports star, someone could go to the NFL. Mostly because he didn't want to pay for college. I found that out recently. But he said whenever I wasn't going to go to college, he was like, son, one things in life, you need to make sure you have a trade. You know? I was like, all right. So I used to trade his things for drugs. And no, I was surprised he got frustrated at it too. Follow the direction. I recently broke up with my girlfriend. Very sad. Very, very sad. I found out something about her. She hasn't really been being honest with me about her past. I found out she used to be 14.
Yeah, the monitors. Hi, how are you? Lord, how old are you? You can be anything. Look at you. My God.
I appreciate it.
Right.
Now, I am 29, but I like to be, act like
You're 29? Holy shit.
Yeah.
Did they, what happened?
When I woke up this morning, I thought Magnum PI was Kennedy addiction.
No. I think, Big Lebowski with brain damage. Medium. Okay, so tell us, Sonny, you live here in Austin? For how long?
On and off for about 5 years.
Where were you from for that?
Southeast Texas. Anahuac, Texas. You ever heard of it?
No. I just didn't really understand that. Why?
Anahuac.
Anahuac?
Yeah, it's one of the places in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, you mean Texas? Okay.
Yeah.
Sonny's learnings in American history are a little bit different than I love it. You think that's where the line was, my friend? Yeah, that's what we're known for here in Anahuac. Known for what is that?
I'm not finding out that segregation's over.
You think that some of your parents, you think there's some breeding going on in your family? I see your eyes. Your eyes are a little bit wobbly, they're swinging. Sometimes they're looking left and right at the same time. You know, Sonny?
My nickname
It was?
Yeah.
That's hurt.
I literally stand at attention and my eyes go 2 different directions.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
they put three fingers behind me. Like, how many fingers am I holding? I'm like, three. I'm like, oh, that's an amazing strength. How can you do normal tasks?
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. You don't need to tell long versions of your own stories like that during this part of the show. Okay. How do you make money?
I'm currently unemployed and I sell drugs.
What kind of drugs do you sell?
No,
Wait, you sell
I have
no,
to
what
say
do you
that.
hang out at grocery stores and sell this shit? What the fuck? Making a horrible shit. Imagine you're good at like weird shit, right?
Oh yeah, I'm left-handed and I'm also possessing.
What do you do music?
I play guitar, piano, sing, stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you sing?
Oh,
Oh, really? Really, Sonny? Is that what you sing? Is that what you sing with your fucking heart in your fucking face? Fucking guy. That's what we think, Sonny. What types of music do you sing, Sonny? Since I've been spelling out for you.
well, the ones with lyrics.
Sonny, if you answer one more of these, stop playing sound effects. Stop. Your sound effects help people when they're bombing, so don't do that, right? Sonny, answer my fucking question, you piece of shit. What type of songs do you sing? Not those words, those points in words. Fuck. Fucking hate these people out of the bucket tonight. God. Things that happen to men tonight. I love the episode. I hate you. Understand what I'm saying? I'm saying I'm still doing a good job. The band, Michael, Redman, everything's doing good. These people are in a good episode. But that doesn't mean you're good at all. In any way, at anything. Say, let me spell it out a different fucking way for you, Sonny. If someone would just describe the type, the brand of music, like the style of song that you fucking sing, you fuck, what would they say? How would they describe it? Go, Sonny. There goes Sonny Carlin, everybody. Put the mic in the fucking mic stand. Retarded. All the way from Iowa. Jesus fucking Christ tonight. It's a real show. You see the show you're at. Sometimes it's fireworks. Sometimes shit gets serious. It's a real show where anybody can sign up. You understand? Proof that none of this is produced. That truly anything can happen. You can tell by people like that coming up here. This guy's funny. I know this is going to be good. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Kiko, everybody. Kiko's here, everyone. God, fuck. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for a comedian named Kiko, everybody.
Alright, I started doing this shit because there's no background checks. I'm really glad that lately I went through this second puberty that men go through at my age with your voice, because until recently I sounded like a pretty assertive lady at the drive-thru. And you get number 4. And I pull up to the first window. So I pull up to the first window, looking through my purse for the money. They can only see my luxurious hair. They're like, bam, it's 8:43. I look up, like, oh shit. Girl, you work on this right here. It's probably pregnancy that got your hormones fucked up. Now, I know that I look like Howie from Moana in my 3rd trimester, but I'm just a Colombian man out here in the street. And I've been through a lot. I've seen Medellin during the narco time, I've seen a lot of shit, but the worst shit that bear.
First shit you see, Kiko, you want a minute?
Worst shit that I've seen growing up, a Brazilian playing Pablo Escobar on Netflix. We got actors too. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, Kiko. Absolutely, I agree with you. Normally, the bear can never rebound from the bear. Yeah, good. Kiko, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
How long have you been on the scene?
Since March.
Started in March?
March 3rd.
That was your first time doing stand-up?
Never in my life.
Was that on Tell Tony?
No, but I got on one time at the last Antone show.
Yes.
I mean, whatever club that was. That's what I meant.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I don't mind plugging them. I don't mind at all.
Almost.
We have a special relationship. I mean, they were. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Kiko, welcome back. What's in the bag today? What do you have in the bag? Not my recipe. Oh. What are we talking about here? Floating?
Got my trusty Tony book.
Hey! Welcome to a segment called. Here we go.
And I got a calendar. I can't bring my phone into this club. I got money.
Oh, you do have a little bit there.
I got weed.
How much weed do you have? Let me see your bag of weed.
Here. I don't bring it all. If I get caught, I can smoke something on the way out.
Right. Absolutely. Any other drugs in there?
Nah. That's the only drug I really. I'll eat a mushroom every now and then, but I already have a lot of adrenaline.
Okay, I like it. Your eyes are big. Said that one.
Big when you do adrenaline.
I love it. Kiko, what do you do for a living?
I do music. I do kids music and theater and
what type of music do you do for a living?
I play Colombian mostly, but I study.
I don't think that's Colombian.
I study jazz and I'm a singer in general, and I do whatever kind of gig it is. Whatever.
You play any?
But yeah, last time I got on with blues.
I was talk about
the other day. Red Band had a gig where I played the music and discussed
what did you play?
I fucked around with a looper pedal and made up stuff.
What did you do last time you were on? You played what?
I played blues with these guys last
guitar.
Yes, sir. I miss the fine gentleman.
Right. Absolutely. That worked out.
Hey, give up for this man.
You don't play drums though, right?
I'll play a drum.
Really?
You want me to play a drum?
Mexican drum. How do you feel tonight, Michael? You do it?
I didn't know either, but I'm
okay.
I'm not the worst.
It sounds like you are. If you were good at all.
I'm just so.
Kiko, what's your love life like?
I got a steady girlfriend, 5 years. She got a kid, I got a kid. We all live together. We got animals.
Have your separate kids?
Yeah.
You have another one on the way, clearly?
The third trimester.
That thing is plump as shit. When's the last time you visited a doctor?
You know, I have a really fucking awesome scar that looks like the apparition of the Virgin Mary's.
Really?
Like right here. I can never show it because it's too ugly for stand-up, but for here it might work.
You guys want to see this guy's scar or what? Pull out the scar. God, I didn't realize you could go to the fucking operation done on Elm Street. Jesus Christ, Kiko, what type of Kiko, did the surgeon put a stick of dynamite in your belly button?
Yeah, I went and I like not white or didn't have hospital, so they
That's not how it works, by the way.
no, they check off not white. Fucking
No. It's not that you weren't white, it's that you didn't have insurance.
no, Tony, I'm
That's
white.
sorry to interrupt. That's what happens when you already owe the insurance company money and you show up to the hospital meeting.
No, he's right. I'm white, and look at me. I'm the picture of him. He's doing great. He's doing great.
That's true.
You got
What did they operate on exactly?
They took my gallbladder out and fucked up the recovery for me.
How did they fuck it up?
They didn't give me antibiotics or whatever the right way.
Wow, so it got
infected. They couldn't leave it closed. They had to leave it open.
Wow, I'm gonna fucking throw up. That's
great.
Crazy.
Just throw up in a
That's incredible.
Yo, what's going on, big dog?
That is incredible. Michael has something he wants to say.
We're trying to watch UFC, but it's not coming in real well. Yes, I did. One of the guys from the community came in and told me it was on. What'd you think of it? It was okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it again because, to be honest with you, I caught most of it, but the first beginning I didn't catch that much. I didn't know it was on. I'm excited for it Monday. You know what? I didn't hear you at all, or I would have been watching or been anticipating because it was completely surprised me. However, that doesn't surprise me at all that I didn't hear. Sometimes I just have a lot of trouble hearing you. But yeah, I mean, I was able to see it. Okay, I was able to see some of it, and I mean, it was good. Let's talk about it. I think that it's cool that he has legends there, and he has the bucket ball. I have learned how they do the bucket pull. It's rigged, which is okay, whatever. How's it rigged? Yeah, they tape the people who they want on the inside of the bucket. So all he has to do is just pull the little piece of paper. Well, right, but there are some people they want to get on. Somebody who is from Ireland, and they're only going to be there one time, and they really want to get them on. So instead of it just being a random bucket pull, they tape the names on the inside of the bucket that they want, and then he's able to pull who he wants. Harlan Williams. Yeah, dude, Joey Diaz brought the house down. I was a little disappointed he didn't do more, but then I understand as well he just wanted to get in, get out, do his thing. It seemed like Joe Rogan wanted him to come on and be a panelist, but to be honest with you, Joey Diaz, in my opinion, is not a good person to be on that panel because he's got a heart. He's not going to sit there and just be like, you need to quit, because he was there at one time. I don't think he likes tearing people down. And so that's why I don't think he's ever done Kill Tony in the traditional sense where he doesn't want to provide negativity to a young comic and break their spirit. Right. Well, did you see Ric Flair? Yeah, Ric Flair was on, and he he left about halfway through it. He was just like, look, I'm not comfortable with people coming up here who are not paid, just doing it for their own benefit, just or basically doing it for our benefit, I should say. And and so he got up and he left. And no. This was a different episode. Different episode. But what I'm saying is that I honestly think that Joey Diaz has a similar mentality that like I mean I've heard him before. He knows how hard it is to be a new comic and to just get shit on right away. I mean, if not, there'd be a reason why he would have done it by now. They've done like 600 of these episodes. You would think that they would have Joey Diaz on once, but they never have. And I just think it's because Joey Diaz is like, I don't want to go up there and just rip on people. I don't think that that's right. I could be wrong, but it's yeah, exactly. And he's just not that kind of comic who is gonna sit there and tear somebody down who's in a wheelchair or somebody. He's just not that kind of comic who is just gonna be an aggressive, mean comic towards someone. Look, he's an aggressive, mean person. There's no doubt about that. He's done a lot of things that are illegal and bad, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's a good. He's a good. Somebody they call it a roaster. Honestly, to he's not. To be a roaster, you have to be very creative. You to be a very good roaster, you have to be very creative. And Joe Diaz is not very creative. He really isn't. Why? In my opinion, yeah, he's more a storyteller. He's very good about telling wild stories and describing people. He's really good at that shit. What he's not good at is using a, a large amount of a vocabulary because his vocabulary is limited. Now, what I have heard is when he tells stories in Spanish, where his vocabulary is more natural, he just kills, just absolutely destroys. But you know, and I think in the future, comics will be judged much more based on their international appeal than their domestic appeal. So, like right now, there are some really big fucking comics who aren't that well known. Who's one of them? Who I think will be really big in the future? Jimmy O Yang. You know who Jimmy O Yang is? He's from Hong Kong. He's like Chinese, and he does Chinese comedy in addition to English comedy, which, there's only like a billion Chinese people who would be interested in that. Another one is Russell Peters. While I don't find him that funny, he's like Canadian and Indian, so he has this huge appeal to India that people don't really recognize. Another one is Joey Diaz because he can do it in Spanish, and Tom Segura because he can do it in Spanish. And I think when all the cards are laid down, that an international appeal will have much more of a say than some other characteristics of or features of comedy. Yeah, I agree.
It's all about connecting with the audience. The best comic in the world. Like, the wrong thing on the wrong night, and the crowd doesn't respond right. You're bombing.
The thing too, some of these comics are very, very funny, but we don't even recognize they may be funnier in another language. We just can't comprehend that. Definitely. I mean, there's this Jimmy O Yang who I just think is so fucking funny. Uh, his his delivery is good, his pacing is good, his use of language is good, but he just does these impressions of his dad that are like of an old Asian man who just wants his kid to do be doing better, and they're just very, very funny to me. And I think his humor is very smart. Yeah, he's not somebody I would have even known of generally, except um, I saw him, I think, on Joe Rogan's podcast, and I thought this guy was funny. And then I think I saw some of his stand up, and I was like, oh, this guy's stand up is actually the funniest stand up of anybody I see today. I mean, there's some other people who are really good. I think Andrew Schultz is really good. I think that um, Matt Rife can be good. I think that Shane Gillis is hilarious. Those are like the up and coming people, and Jimmy O Yang is definitely one of them as well. Like he has these bits. Well, I know you've heard of Shane Gillis, probably. Exactly. Matt Rife was on Kill Tony 2 weeks ago, so he was a comedian there. So if you haven't heard of Matt Rife, he's already a really big comedian. Interesting though, he's not in that whole Joe Rogan universe as much as like many of the other people are, but he's still a really, really big comedian. Who else is really big? Andrew Schultz. I'm sure you know Andrew Schultz. He was at um I think no, I think it was at Madison Square Garden one of the times. And he's hilarious. Oh, how about do you know Tim Dillon? Do, yeah. So Tim Dillon, he's just a no nonsense, doesn't cut any corners comic from Long Island. Um, Very interesting though. Not that this matters, but you would think of him to be like this super masculine guy, like you know, ripping on people, blah 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 blah, which he does. But he's actually gay, which is like surprising because he's so brash. Usually, you don't think of someone who's homosexual to be as brash as he is, but people come in all shapes, sizes, and things, and so that's just um his way. But that doesn't mean that he's not one of the most hilarious people on the planet right now. So we've got Tim Dillon. Exactly. It's almost as if though it's kind of shocking to me because he's so in so many other ways, in my opinion, like really, I don't want to even say masculine. It's just like he seems like a guy who would pick up a ton of chicks and like would have had the, but it's just not. It's just not that way. It's just the way that it is. But yeah, you're right. So long as somebody's funny, funny is funny. That's all that matters. Um, that's correct. Uh, he is so I'd say like the top five up and coming comics right now. Jimmy O Yang, Andrew Schultz, if you wouldn't even count him. Um, Tim Dillon, Shane Gillis. I had to name one more. Well, Theo Vaughn, if you want to count him, he's huge. But Theo Vaughn wasn't. Oh, he's not my boy. No, he's actually L's boy. I think he's funny, but he's not my favorite comic. Um, yeah, yeah. If you want to know who my boy is, it's Cam Patterson. It's not William Montgomery. Oh, you didn't think Cam Patterson was good? I know he didn't land perfectly. I get that, but he made out of like like the regulars, William Montgomery, Hans Kim, that Casey Rocket, and Cam Patterson. I think Cam Patterson did better than any of them. Yeah. Yeah, I don't even remember William Montgomery's act, to be honest with you. Dude, I'm gonna have to watch it again. Um, wow, I think I would remember that joke. So I either missed it or wasn't paying attention to that. So I have to go back and watch it. Um, do I think William Montgomery is funny? I do, but there are some aspects I don't think are funny. Um, the things that I think he's really good at, or that are really fucking funny, are when he just goes over the top. When somebody laughs and they're not supposed to, and he just goes, "What do you think is so fucking funny? Here I am up here trying to do my act, and you just are fucking smiling? What the fuck is your problem, you stupid bitch?" And like, it's so over the top that it's very funny to me. What else? I think I think when he does that, it's funny. And then he does this thing where he goes to a different city. So if he's like, let's say, going to Atlanta, or I don't know, yes, let's say he's going, yeah, Atlanta. He'll be like, yeah, hey everybody, I just got in from Atlanta. Ludacris and I were knocking off mailboxes around Emory and Spillman University, having a good time, and it was amazing. Like, he takes a celebrity from the area and a college from the area and a crime, and then puts them together. And there's so many different combinations of that it can be very funny. He has some nostalgic humor that I like, where he'll be like, I don't know, he has just like, or some of them are history, but like, then some of them aren't even relevant anymore. He'll be making like a Jurassic Park joke. Jurassic Park hasn't been in the theater in years, that kind of shit. Um, Overall, I think that he's, yeah, I mean, he's funny. He's not the funniest comedian on Kill Tony. I, right. I don't even know if he wants that though. Yeah, and I think he'd probably say, I make millions of dollars doing what I do, and I can wear whatever the fuck I want, and I don't have to listen to anybody. So that's what I want to do. Yeah, you're right. You get canceled, and then yeah, Ben Folds has a song. There's al- there's always someone cooler than you, and exactly. Um, so Kick, my favorite platform, has redone its uh, interface, and that meant I had to redo all of my robots, and it. Pardon me? No, I finally got them all. So it took me about. Well, here's the thing: they didn't even finish the whole rollout, and it wasn't like perfect. It wasn't like one day it was everything changed over. It was like a week. So they would fix something on their end, and then that meant I had to fix something on my end. They changed something on their end, I'd have to change another thing on my end, and it was kind of like this cat and mouse game until they kind of settled on this interface, and my bots were just going at it. And oh, dude, this was a weird thing. I mean, um, I'd love to tell you that this is all a ruse and that I have all the money in the world, and but it's not. This is like a survival story of me just doing everything I can. So I don't have a lot of money to be playing pranks on people. Nevertheless, one of the kick admins, one of the people who's employed by Kick, an ex-Amazon employee, he he got something in the mail that somebody sent him that had my name on it, like I sent it, and he did an unboxing live on Twitter, and he opens this thing, and it's a wax version of my hand that's a middle finger, and it looks like it's for me. And I watched this fucking unboxing on Twitter. And so he opens this box and it's just a middle finger that's like made of. So he says like, all right, I got this weird, creepy thing in the mail from everybody's fucking this rabbi, and he does this unboxing and it's this fucking middle finger that looks like my hand. It totally looks like I did it, but um I don't just have the money to be fucking modeling wax versions of my middle finger to be sending to random moderators on Kick. So I'm like if no one believes me, please believe me. I wish I could do this, but I I I just don't. And that's not something that I would do either. That's too personal. I wouldn't look up your address and send you something, especially if it was mean like that. I think it's yeah, I don't have the time for that, but also that's just not how I am. I don't have that kind of heart. Like, um, I'm not like a well, let's say if you did something to me, like let's say you hurt someone I knew, okay, then that's a little bit different. But like if it's just a random stranger, like this random admin for Kick, I'm not gonna go out of my way to hurt that person. I just don't have that kind of spirit. That's just not how I am. But yeah, well, so he does this. He posts this thing on Twitter, and it gets like 10,000 likes and views and shit. I mean, it goes. I don't want to say it went viral, but he only posted it like 26 hours ago or something, not that long ago. So I see this, and it's a very good like candle rep like recreation of my hand, and I wrote in the comments like, "Hey, just so you know, the real rabbi didn't do that. Like, I just want to make you aware." Like, then I put, yeah, exactly, because when he posted it, all these Kick people went in and they're like, "Fuck that guy! He spams my chat all the time." Not a lot. I shouldn't say that. It wasn't that many, but there were just some people who were on board with it. And I posted my thing under there, just saying like, "Look, I didn't do this. I think it's like I didn't even write that. I thought it was funny. I mean, it's kind of funny, but that's just not how I am. That's not what I do." So yeah, no, I understand that. Okay, I have to use the restroom. I'll be right back.
My bra really fucking painful. I haven't run in a long time since like high school, but I ran the fuck out of it.
You didn't have to tell us you haven't ran since high school. You didn't have to. Sorry, you called me a bitch. When I was a little kid, I was molested by someone that kept calling me a bitch. So that's my excuse for why I get to make fun of people that when they call me a bitch, I freak out. Just kidding. Just kidding. What do you do for fun?
Mostly come here.
Yeah, you come to kill Tony?
Yeah.
That's nice. What else? What else do you do? Other than blackmail?
Wow.
I'm just guessing. I don't know. Check out John needs for my
I work, hang out with friends, do comedy, hang out with my cats. About it.
How many cats do you have?
3.
3? Wow.
In a school bus tiny home.
What's that?
In a school bus tiny home.
It really is like it's like a school bus.
You have a bathroom on the school bus? Or
Yeah,
a shower and everything?
I do. I have an outdoor shower. I have an indoor shower, a bath. I have a constant toilet.
Okay. You ever just use the litter box? All
No,
those,
it's a smart thing.
all those cats running around. I bet once in a while.
No, I fucking should during that winter storm. But yeah, no, they have their own little process.
Wow. Are they older cats?
Like 7.
Always healthy? Strong cats?
They have some fucking drama, honestly.
Really? Drama? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's 4 scary cats running around that house.
Yeah.
Incredible. Michael Lair, I'm with you.
Yeah. When me and Zach moved to Austin, our first night we were at a hotel, and Tana and 2 other girls came by, and I'm like, oh, okay. Now one of the pussies in the room.
Sorry, Donna, when did you hook up with Michael? You have a boyfriend?
Thought I was scared. No, I don't have a boyfriend.
Okay.
You're a bad teacher.
Uh-oh, Michael says you're a bad patron. You ever been to a broom closet with a guy in a wheelchair before, huh?
I'm only fucking nostrils.
Only fucker in what? Nostrils? Oh, I got
Just fall back, you fucking idiot.
It's okay. Donna, what is your love life like? You're single, you're dating, you're out there, played.
Pretty stagnant.
When's the last time you had sex with a human? A few weeks? Who was the guy a few weeks ago?
A friend.
Tell us more. Is it a friend with benefits, like a guy that you hook up with regularly?
Sort of.
Okay, this is fun. It's like I'll just keep asking tons of questions until I find out what I want.
Is that guy home?
Oh, Dean, you might be right about this. He said he sounds like this guy's married. Is that true?
Someone say that he's not married. He's just vegan. It's a little embarrassing.
He's a vegan. Wow. Jeez. What's the sex like? He's vegan. I'm guessing he doesn't go down on you.
No, he does. Wow.
He comes down there, he's like, ew, there's beef everywhere.
Beef? I thought we were going fish. I thought that was what that was about.
No, I'm saying that your pussy is off down.
Wow, it's pretty.
It wasn't about the smell. It's about the visual.
Right.
Extended labia?
No.
Stop. You can't ask them like that, Red Man. Disgusting.
Ask the man with a pink microphone. What the fuck?
Donna, don't try to make. You have an extended labia on less like this. I'm kidding. I don't really care. Wow. So the guy from a few weeks, when's the last time you hooked up with somebody other than this friend with benefits? Or you like have hookups? Because I'm trying to figure out why Michael didn't get laid. How many of you think she should have sex with Michael Lair?
Let's go to the broom closet. My girlfriend is
Girlfriend's here. I'm just kidding.
and I'll be having sex with Hans in the broom closet.
All right. Don't let me get away. I'm sorry.
Donna, you have any special talent? Like if this was a talent show, like a magic trick, anything? Like are you good at anything? Music, singing, anything like that? Do you have any special talent?
Whole fitness.
Pole fitness? What type of
I am back. How you living, pimp?
What does that mean?
Big one. Yeah.
Oh, like a strip.
Just a moment. Apologies. Can you repeat that? Yeah, there are some people who consider that. It's to me. Yeah, I mean, I had heard similar things. That's why I wanted to know what it was like. And most Orthodox Jews, well, all Orthodox Jews should not be Freemasons, just because there are some aspects of the and it's not. It's just separate. And and I went to my rabbi when I was interested, and I asked him, and he did some research, and he went to some colleagues, and we were able to find some Orthodox rabbis who were also Freemason in other countries, and so we were able to use that as the precedent, at least within the state of California, at least in with the the Rabbinical Council of California. You really should not be a Jew and a well, at least an Orthodox Jew and a Freemason. And the lodge that I joined was a Jewish lodge, and I came in there, and I'm like, "What are you guys doing? You're not keeping kosher. You are essentially violating the law in multiple different areas." And I had to hear their justifications for it because it didn't make sense to me. It's really one of the things that drew me to Freemasonry was the separation. And once I got in and I understood, I mean, well, I just, I didn't have that much, uh, right, right. There would be no homosexuality. There would be, like, everything, everyone would have to keep kosher. Yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, but I mean, there's a bigger question here. When is Shabbat? Right. And what do we do when Israel expands as large as, say, Russia? And there are parts of Russia that don't have a sundown. What do we do? Absolutely. Iceland, there's no sundown in Iceland and some other areas, and in Antarctica. I mean, these are these are all arguments. I mean, these are look, Jacob. This is one of the reasons why I was brought to the rabbinate was I had these questions too. What do we do when we are traveling in space? Do we still have to don tefillin? Like I have a colleague of mine. His name is Ben Zion, Rabbi Ben Zion Saban. He, one of his friends is William Shatner, and when William Shatner went to space, it was a question that we had: does he have to don tefillin? There, there's no answer. The meaning there isn't like we don't have a communication system with God, so we don't know what the true answer is. It's whatever we want it to be. And so, what do I want it to be, and what do I think the majority feels is that tefillin is an earth-based mitzvah, and thus, when you start to get into traveling into space, it's no longer a requirement. Does that make sense? Because because why? Once you start getting away from Earth, you don't have like a traditional day and night. When do you don the tefillin? Exactly. How do you orient yourself towards Jerusalem? How do you orient yourself towards Jerusalem when there's no like clear way to do so properly? And then also, how do you do it perhaps when there's no traditional day? Once you get off Earth, there's no day in the traditional sense. So what happens? You don't have to don tefillin anymore because there's no like day to night. It's basically these questions become very much humanist and they're not very important scientifically. And we're moving much more towards a scientific future. And so the way that I would like to see orthodoxy move, and what I'm an advocate and what I've written about in the past, is that once we start having people traveling to space en masse, meaning like hundreds of people a year, perhaps, and then into thousands of people a year, I think that we don't have to. Once you go into space, if I had a congregation, and I really mean this, and some of my friends are high net worth individuals and probably will have to make this decision in the future. Once you go to space, you don't have to don tefillin anymore. But what you do have to do is make it so that other people can afford to go to space so that they don't have to don tefillin anymore either. And that's how you get out of not having to do tefillin anymore. Does that make sense?
Very true.
Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of like this cherry on top, in my opinion. If I had the at Mount Sinai, and after Moshe Rabbeinu, and after Moses, we had Rabbi Rothschild, and I was able to say, okay, all the stuff that Moshe Rabbeinu is going to be talking about is really, really cool, but we're going to be at a point in society when we can all communicate with each other instantaneously using technology, and we're going to be traveling away from the earth. Okay, don't you want like 100 years? What do I want my kids to have? I want them never to have eaten any animals, so they'll be purely vegan from birth, but also purely kosher from birth, meaning everything that goes into their body will be kosher. And also, I don't want them, perhaps maybe not my children, but maybe they'll have the opportunity to make this decision in the future. If they want to go on a purely protein diet, just like good tasting protein, but no carbohydrates, protein and fat, I should say, like a purely kosher ketogenic diet, they should be able to do so, and it should be pretty easy to do if they want. And
Or omnivores?
no, I think that if you want to live the longest amount possible, do a purely protein and fat-based diet and avoid carbohydrates as much as possible to some extent, to the point where um, you essentially are a high performing individual. Like that's essentially like it's not like similar to the paleo diet, but I would say yeah, that's probably the best thing. So at least with my children, if possible, and the future of society, I don't want to have to kill any animals anymore. I agree. And um, I'll tell you, within synagogues today, the vegan movement has had a significant impact, and I've seen the heads of synagogues hash it out with the most vegan of people over what God wants us to do. And one side is saying that we should have dominion over the animals, and the other side is saying that we should have mercy on the animals. And essentially, I see it from both sides. I see one side eventually being phased out into the other. And I think that they're talking past each other, and they don't need to do that. They can work on what unites them as opposed to what divides them. That's how we're working on it, dog.
He's just setting up.
Got that right. 100%. Sugar Sean O'Malley fights tonight, and I'm trying to. Do you know who Sugar Sean O'Malley is?
I can honestly say I've never heard of him before.
That's okay. I wouldn't have known who he was. He's the UFC fighter with pink hair. That's how, like, the only way you're gonna know about him. But he's like, he's not heavyweight champion, but he's some kind of champion. He's won like 8 fights in a row, and I just think looking at him, you wouldn't think he's that fucking good, but he's really, really good. Anyway, he's fighting tonight, and this is a big deal because it's I think it's at the Las Vegas Sphere, which I think they said that this is the only time they were gonna do a UFC there because it's really, really expensive. But yeah,
Las Vegas?
yeah, they moved the headquarters when Dana White and those guys really took a leadership stance. They moved it from New York City to Las Vegas. Just for a moment. What up, Pedro? How are you, dog? Pedro, can you hear me? Pedro. That's cool. Um, so get this, Jacob. You want to know something amazing? Well, you wouldn't know it by looking at me because I haven't utilized technique in years, but I have been able to lose 20 pounds in 2 days. And if you're like, how the fuck could you do it so quickly? The way that I've been able to do it was naturally. I mean, how was I able to do it? Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is I know a secret to losing weight that very few people know. And it's like, okay, well, Rabbi, why don't you utilize it? I'm saying I haven't, and I'm going to start, I think. It's like, okay, what's your fucking secret? It's not operation, nothing like that. No. In fact, I had some plastic surgery around this time, and um, my doctor, who is known as the father of liposuction, he has his own Wikipedia page. He's also my plastic surgeon. He, I was seeing him for something different, and at the same time, since I was going to his office, it was like, the doctor's office, they weigh you. And over the course of like a week, I'd lost 32 pounds. And they're like, how the hell did you lose so much weight so quickly? And I explained to them, especially to the liposuction guy, what I had done. So how was I able to do this? I bought these machines from um, Ali, Alibaba, or AliExpress, that are cold machines. What people don't know, and I'm about to tell you this, it will change your life perhaps forever. But this is the key to weight loss. Way faster than calorie reduction. And the reason why I say this is I feel an absolute um I'm an expert in weight loss because I've lost a lot of weight many different times in my life and regained it. That's just kind of how I've always gone. One time in my life, I figured out these machines. So what do these machines do? You put them on your body, and um, it freezes your fat. Uh, it freezes your fat. It's the same science behind what's called cool sculpting. So, am I saying like you could get the same results by cool sculpting? 100%, exactly. Um, but I don't have the money to cool sculpt because it's like thousands of dollars. So I bought these machines. Well, the machines work really well, but um, they burn out on you, and I couldn't get replacement ones. And also, they can be really fucking dangerous too because they can cause like frostbite to your skin and all kinds of other shit. So I think they were like kind of taking them off the market, but also they work like a motherfucker. All right, so how do I plan on fucking losing a lot of weight? I I um Well, no. I mean, it's something that I want to do too, and I want to do it on camera. So how do you do it? Just take like water bottles and put them against your skin for like long periods of time, and uh, like over time, if you do this enough, it what you end up doing is freezing the fat cells underneath the skin without freezing your skin. So what you should know is that water freezes at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Fat freezes at like 33 degrees Fahrenheit. So basically, if you can get your fat skin or your fat cells close to that for a period of time, you'll freeze that part of your body. And then what happens is over the course of the next like 12 hours, you end up going to the bathroom a lot because all those cells are being shed from you, generally through your urine. And so I had this friend of mine, and I was sending him pictures every single day of how much weight I was losing. I went from 245 pounds to 175 pounds over the course of like, oh yeah, definitely. I was 245, went to 175 over the course of like, a month, like very, very, very quickly. And I did it, I 5'9" and 3/4 exactly. Yeah. Well, 240 pounds on a 5'9" and 3/4 person isn't like, I mean, it's morbidly obese, there's no doubt about that. But so is like 190, I think, on that frame. Well, I got to 170, 175 or so just by freezing it off, and I did it very, very quickly. And so it's just another little secret that I know. It's super cool. So what's my plan? I have these, um, I have these uh, bottles, these water bottles that are just frozen with water, and I'm just gonna put them like literally you can take it and put it on your pectoral muscle, and it will start to remove um, the fat from there. So if I put it underneath my armpit, it will just start to remove the fat from my arm, and then like underneath my itch and wherever you put it. And you know how they figured this out? Um, have you ever seen a chuck? Um, well, we can talk about that for a second because there have been theories. And I read about this trucker who used to do this. If I ever got around a place with snow, it's something that I would experiment. I read about this trucker in his truck, just had the heat going really, really hot, and he was in like Idaho, and he stopped at his truck stop, and it was just super, super hot, and it was a new fallen snow. And what he did was he just jumped into the snow, but just on one side of his body, and he noticed that over the course of the next day or two, that part of his body was significantly less than the side that was not exposed to the snow.
Harder, so it obviously don't lose more fat.
Well, it's just that the cells are frozen, and so it sheds them. And no, there's no muscles lost. 100% muscle retention. The reason why is to freeze muscle is like you have to get down to like -5 degrees Fahrenheit. To freeze fat, you only have to get to 33 degrees Fahrenheit. So the freezing level of fat is much higher than it is for muscle. So what I'm saying is you can do, like sit there with cold on your fat, and your fat will go away at 33 degrees. If you do it to muscle, the muscle won't. You'll have to get it much, much lower. Now, there's a question: why don't people just um, take ice bags and put them on themselves? Well, believe it or not, I've seen somebody do this on YouTube. And it was the weirdest thing. When I started to learn about this, the actual scientific process is called like cryopathic like lipolysis. It's like removal of fat through cold. That's what it's known as scientifically. And
The science behind it could be like, why is there like fat people in North countries or Russia or something?
well,
But
no, 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 no,
obviously, like,
no. The reason why is because the cold has to be exposed to the skin at length for a certain period of time. And it's not the air temperature that's cold. The air temperature is essentially not equivalent to skin temperature. Why? Yeah, because very rarely, even if you're like a fat person in northern Russia, will your skin, your actual like stomach skin, be exposed to negative whatever. You know what I mean? Because you'll always have it covered. That's why on a human, generally, pardon me?
like, yeah, everything. Obviously, like yourself, not the
Exactly.
right world.
Exactly. But what I am saying is if that big fat Russian went outside and put his stomach in the snow directly so that the snow could actually touch his skin, and if he did it for, say, like 5 minutes, not a long enough time to get frostbite, but a long enough time to cause some freezing, that the next day his stomach would be snow. That's what I'm saying. So, the way that this was discovered scientifically was now I'm not saying that it hasn't been known throughout society, and I think it has been specifically with the Inuit people, uh, like Eskimos, as they're kind of known as. There are other tribes in that too, but for simplicity's sake, because they've been around snow so much, they know the key to fat and like animal fat, and basically for them to survive, they need to ensure that they have layers of fat and so they don't go just jumping in the snow. They know how dangerous that can be. So with that said, the way that this was discovered apparently was they were doing like in the 1950s perhaps tests on popsicles with children. And have you ever seen a child eat a popsicle and like maybe fall asleep or not pay attention, and the cold of the popsicle against their fatty cheek will cause a little indentation? Have you ever seen this? Yeah, like as a child. Um, Basically, if you take that popsicle and if the child holds it against their cheek and their mouth long enough, there'll be a little reduced area of fat from their cheek to their mouth that will take some time to even out. Have you ever seen this? Exactly. So basically, it's the same. Yeah. So it's the same idea of again. It's known as like cryogenic like lipolysis, something like that. Anyway, so I learned about this right before I started streaming my life. It's like the project I was working on right before that. And I lost, like I said, like close to 70 pounds using this. And I had lost at other periods of my life like 50, 60 pounds from running and caloric reduction and kinds of other ways too. And I just realized this was becoming too difficult for me to do. Um, and I wanted an easier way. So anyway, if you what I'm trying to say is if you ever see me in here, I'm not doing it yet, but I might over the course of the next few weeks just have like a bottle of water against my skin. Normally you'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? But now it would make sense. So I'm explaining it. Well, hopefully it works. We'll be able to track it pretty well.
I'm sure I'll hit that up and
If
find
it
out.
does, yeah, exactly. Because and the thing is, it's a really cheap way to lose weight. All you have to do is fucking sit and just let the cold touch your skin. Now,
I'm kind of looking active lifestyle, I suppose. So
that's good.
I've never had to really worry about that much. But people in my family, like my niece, like almost 300 pounds, but she's only like 6'1" or something or two.
So, what I'm saying is that if she can get to a place that has snow. She just goes to it, sticks in the snow. Perfect. So when it snows the next time, all, all she has to do is expose her skin to the snow. So I even mean she could just like put her legs in it, and it will eat away at that fat immediately.
Just near frostbite, but take it off before that.
100%. 100%.
Well,
Well, and that's why I advise to do it in a controlled environment. That's why with the water bottle, you if you take a water bottle and you put it in a plastic bag and then put that on your skin, it will still get your skin very, very cold, but it will not cause frostbite, and then you don't have to run into that issue. But yeah, you don't. I mean, and I'm not saying you have to come close to frostbite. I'm saying you like the ideal situation. Yeah, I mean, I'm saying like you get a clock and you say, okay, I'm gonna run outside and stick my legs in the snow for 3 minutes, and I'm gonna wear socks so that like my appendages don't get frozen. It's just I'm gonna expose the fat on my legs to this, and no, different though, different though. That's that's for like ice cold therapies and like I they call them like shock therapy or that's not what I'm talking about. Why doesn't that work on the fat? Because when you go into one of those ice baths, it's not cold enough to freeze your fat. It's only like 50 degrees or like 45 degrees. I'm saying you have to get to 33 degrees. That's the key. Does that make sense? Exactly. If you get to 30, let's say you got your ice bath to 35 degrees, nothing's going to happen. You're just going to be really, really cold. And perhaps, expose yourself to causing some issues, hypothermia, very quickly. What I'm saying is that you expose a small part of yourself to 33 degrees while the rest of your body is at room temperature. That's a much safer way to do it. Well, as long as you need to do it until you lose weight. So I can tell you this. I would wear these little machines on my stomach. I would wear these machines on my stomach and on my chest everywhere, and I'd lose 10 pounds a day. Faster than you've ever seen it, ever. And I even got it on camera. This was amazing. Where I had frozen the fat under my skin so that it looked like a little bar of like a little bar of butter underneath my skin that had frozen, and I could squeeze it. And when you do that, it breaks up the cells. When they do pool sculpting, they they freeze part of your skin and then they squeeze it to get all those cells out, and it gets your fat out. Now, there's a question: why is it cool sculpting more? It is very popular. It's very expensive though, and the thing is, you can't do it. They have like the Food and Drug Administration, because you can freeze yourself and cause damage. They have limited where you can do this type of therapy. You can really only do it on your stomach. I think they'll make it so you can do it for your arms in the future and your hips and your back. 100%. And so let me talk about this though. I didn't do it on my own. I watched some people on YouTube too. There was this guy on YouTube, and this was all during the pandemic when I figured all this out. So, um, I saw this guy on YouTube, and he was like, "Hey, I'm using cryogenic lipolysis, whatever, lipolysis to to freeze my fat." And he just had these bags of ice. And if you saw what he looked like before, he was like 300 pounds. And all he would do, since it was the pandemic and everybody had like lost their jobs, he didn't have anything to do. So he was putting these bags of ice on himself and just sitting in the sun by his pool, and he was losing huge amounts of weight. Now, this isn't how I found it out. The way that I found it out, um, believe it or not, I was learning. I had um, uh, gynecomastia, and I was looking on Amazon for like solutions, and I saw that they had this like machine that basically froze your fat at home. And I was like, wow, okay. So I bought one. I realized this thing worked really well. I bought 6 of them. And while I would be at work, I would literally be on a camera like I am now, but you couldn't see me from the chest down. And I'd have like 2 on my stomach, 2 on my legs, 2 on my calves, and they would just freeze a little portion of my skin, not enough to give me frostbite. There was also a little gel that you could put on it so that it wouldn't freeze your skin. And I was way like it was going out of style. And look, the thing is, I didn't, and I'm somebody who, if it works, give me all of it. So I learned the hard way too. What would end up happening at points, you wouldn't pay attention. It would literally be like frozen to you, and you wouldn't be paying attention, and then it would cause your skin to bubble. It would cause your skin to bubble and cause like all kinds of just like blisters. So I'm not saying that it was the safest thing to do when I did it with these machines because I knew they worked really well. But what also worked really well was just taking ice bags and put them against my skin. And this was right at the beginning of the pandemic. Well, that's a different thing. That's cold shock therapy. That's an Irish shower, but or Scottish shower, I should say. But that's different. That's what James Bond used to take, and that's good for your pores. It closes your pores. But again, that water only gets to like exactly, exactly. Even a cold one is only getting to like 45 degrees. It's not that cold. What I'm saying is it has to be concentrated cold on an area for a prolonged time, but not enough time to cause nerve damage. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Well, there are several ways. Your skin, yeah, I mean, you could just say to yourself, I'm not going to do it any longer. Well, at least the machines that I had, 20 minutes was the maximum you could do it. After 20 minutes, it had an automatic shut. Yeah, yeah, but someone like I am is gonna just turn that machine right back on and do it for another 20 minutes. And that's what I would do. I would just move it in a different part of my body. But man, it worked like a motherfucker. And I have those. Well, if she does, she just has to look up the science behind pool sculpting, and she'll realize probably she can't afford it herself, but there's going to be snow all around her, and she can just lay in it for like 2 minutes. I'm not even talking like a long time. I'm saying like 2 minutes. If she does it for 2 minutes a day for a week, she'll lose 10 pounds. Right? But you can't go just on that because you do see fat estimates. And, and they're taught at a very young age. Don't expose your skin to the snow. Why? Because you're gonna spend your whole life trying to build up your own level of blubber in your body, and it's gonna go away very very quickly if you expose your skin to it. Is he okay?
He pulled through. Yeah. He's like 29 now.
Thank God. That's okay. I had somebody who approached me, when I say approached me, at least in Discord, their ad is Kick Clips, and they're a pretty big streamer on Kick, and they want to do an interview with me. I'm pretty excited for that. Um, Whenever they want to do it, because I think, I'm becoming someone who's kind of in the consciousness of these people now, of who I am and what I do, and it's just a matter of time until I fucking blow up. I'm spamming these people that I'm currently in Aiden Ross's Discord, which is true, waiting for him to do an interview with me. Do I think he's going to do an interview with me? Fuck no, not right now. Once I do a few of them and he finds out I'm an interesting person, oh yeah, he'll do an interview with me, but not right away. But and nevertheless, it makes people like, it made other people like, oh, hey, will you do an interview? Will you do an interview? So I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll do anything to get out the word. And now that Kick is kind of settling on its user interface, and I've made these robots are fucking good. Some of them spam, well, all of them spam. Some of them also create clips, and they all follow. And it's just a matter of time until people see this enough, and they're like, "What in the fuck is this? This person spams me every day for the last 6 months. What is their deal?"
I send you whenever I can, or whenever, I mean, not really whenever I can, but it's more like whenever I hear people talk about the Rothschilds and some sort of like urban legend type setting, I used to throw your name out there, but you would love to hear it.
Absolutely. I'm here. Let's talk it out. We'll ask ChatGPT about it. We will outline it. We'll do whatever you want. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah. Do you watch NFL? Okay, not of course. Not everybody does. Dude, you have no idea how rare it is. Most people who I talk to in here are like, no, I hate sports. There's something weird about this. That I'm not saying it's completely like a Venn diagram that they're separate, but people who like sports aren't that into crypto. Or people who like crypto aren't that into sports. It's like you either gamble on sports or you gamble on crypto, but the two worlds don't overlap that much. They do in some ways. I mean, I'm in.
That's more or less the shirt type area where they go for a draft that fluctuates then, and they move the money here and there, more or less somebody's like athletic ability, like their capability of doing something on the field.
I'm in agreement with that.
That would be good. There is more or less of a questionability, I think.
Hey, have we talked about what's an example of it? 30 years ago, I mean, I remember this when reparations, the discussion of reparations started. That was an absolute joke. It was a punchline. It was a punchline from black comedians, from white comedians. Everybody just thought that was hilarious. And and then today we're at a point where it looks like reparations may be becoming a reality. And so that's kind of how things work, where it's like, okay, so what am I saying with this? I've heard a theory. I don't, and it could have been a joke a long time ago, but this wasn't. Um, I actually did a lot of research one time. After, I was gonna, move to China to the point where I made it to the Chinese consulate, and yeah. The thing is though, I was gonna move to China to teach English with zero money, like zero, and you just can't do that. Meaning, like, I didn't have enough money for the plane ticket. Um, so I had money for the Chinese consulate and stuff, and so what did I do? I was gonna, I became like what's called TEFL or TOEFL, certified teaching English as a foreign language, and okay, So I was really interested in something called Expo 2010 because I was going to be in Shanghai. Like, this sounds so strange to me that I was going to be in Shanghai at the same time of what was called Expo 2010. Now, I've always been someone who is an advocate for uh, not just world peace, but also the World's Fair. You remember they used to do World Fairs? Exactly. It's a fucking great question. What the hell happened to those? Why don't we do that? We used to have these times where the world would get this sneak peek of a new type of technology that was coming down the pipe. Well, that's a complicated question. Why don't we have them anymore? They really became conventions and expos. Well, they really became conventions and expos, and they became more corporate. And at the time, they didn't really make a huge amount of money. They lost a lot of money. Um, and but they still have them. They just call them the World Expos. They don't call them the World Fairs anymore. Anyway, 2010, they were going to have this World Expo in China, in Shanghai. And so they did. They built this huge fucking pavilion, and that's what it. So there's this area of Shanghai right on the river that it's on the I believe the Yangtze, and it's like a perfect place. It's a park because it's no longer there. Okay, so I heard this theory. What ends up happening? I either read something online, and then I dream about it, and then it's like maybe if somebody jokes about it, and then it's just like a theory that's in the back of my head that I never forget about, but I know isn't necessarily true, but I don't dismiss it because it actually could happen. And this is one of them. So what am I saying? I think that the United Nations will eventually move from Manhattan to Shanghai, and then eventually, once the Beta Mikdash, the third temple, is rebuilt, uh, I can see it eventually within like, or maybe like 100 years or 200 years from now, the United Nations moving from Shanghai to Jerusalem. This specific spot is known as the Rockefeller Museum, and the Rockefeller family donated the land for the original United Nations. Well, it's not even the original United Nations. The United Nations was founded in San Francisco. It moved to New York after the Rockefeller family donated the land. I'm saying that I can see it move over the course of the next 100 years from New York City to Shanghai, where Expo 2010 was, right on the river, and then eventually moving to Jerusalem. Now, do I think that this is going to happen? I could see it happening. I think I read it one time on a forum, or I heard somebody talk about it. It's just like an interesting thing that I could see happening. That's all. Well, we're moving much more towards the world. Uh, I'll never forget. I went to this thing at the Nixon Library in Yorba Linda, um, where we heard, my friend and I went, we would go to these things where we would listen to just like speakers talk. And so we saw like Supreme Court Justice, and we saw like ambassadors. And so we saw this person from the Council on Foreign Relations. And it was on China. They were explaining how China now works and how the social credit score works, how that was coming here. And like to be ready for it in the next 10, 20 years or whatever. And they just explained how China works.
Really bad though for America because I mean you get political divisions like you're not gonna get like a good amount of grosses this week because you said something bad about a political opponent. I mean just look how things are today. I mean that even the press corps behind them with fucking emotions too.
Well, it's fucking dystopic where, your kids can't talk to somebody else's kids because they're not the same social class as you. It's very, very scary. Anyway, my friend at the time, he was he was marrying someone in a higher um a higher yeah, exactly. It's class, but so I wanted to say like a, a higher tax bracket. And it was a weird world, man, where I told him, I'm like, if you were marrying this person maybe in 5 or 10 years, you wouldn't be able to get married. You would be in different classes. And it was very dystopian when I heard somebody talking like, yes, this is going to be the future of America, and you better be okay with it. It's going to be very much like China. It's like, what the fuck? Like, who says fucking who? And it's like, oh, you don't control shit, dog. It's all controlled internationally. And
Consider that as a factor if they're in love with you. I mean, that's kind of be like the main issue. Or not very other than that.
dog,
Like, no issue.
I
But
I agree, but it would
I think
it would be like
that's
it would be like
driving like
it would be like she wouldn't even be able to go on a date with you. There's a there's a thing. It's a Black Mirror episode where it's a dating app of the future where basically you won't even be allowed to see the people if you don't meet a certain credit rating. Yeah, it's really fucking scary. No, dog.
who's just on top of the moral ground in that. I don't know if I want to be that guy. Or people, right? Or, political leaders. Yeah, we still got active analog heroes in Kentucky.
Who escaped?
Oh, it's not someone who escaped. Some fucking nut job went on the highway. I think I-75 or something and rushed sort of unloading rounds in the traffic. And then obviously evaded capture thus far in the middle of Laurel County by London, Kentucky, I believe.
So you're saying
Kind
just
of
somebody,
like
and they've been looking for him for a week? How many shots did he shoot?
not five people, but obviously he was trying to kill him.
Oh, wow.
There's no way to shoot that many people had that many gunshots go off. People's car get hit randomly, and not he aiming to try to maim or hurt or kill.
No, I see that.
But I definitely hope they catch them because you don't need people like that run around with weapons.
Yeah, no, that's definitely serious. Very sad.
Really big issue around here.
Just random people shooting people? Wow.
The main one. Like 5 or 6 people, something like that. Thankfully, no one got killed. But he contacted some guy I heard from a news source that he I guess tested some family member or girlfriend or something of his that after he's done killing people, doing a mass shooting, that he's going to go out to the woods and kill himself. Supposedly, that's the understanding of the entire phone call that was transpired by the perpetrator and whoever the hell he was talking to. So, he could possibly be out in the woods dead, but on the other aspect, he could be at large.
Okay, I'm gonna. Oh, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play you in chess. Oh yeah. Rabbi's turn. Dog, I don't know what the fuck I just did. I just saw this hair. Man, I'm fucking stupid. Yeah, I don't know what I was doing. I was trying to see a couple of steps ahead, and I'm like, yeah, I'll just do it. Man, that's dumb. Welcome, welcome. How you living? Yeah, because I have the link where you join, come right into here, and it catches people off guard. Though, oh, I didn't mean to. I wanted to talk with the guy right away, but I want to check out the server, but not necessarily talk. Like exactly. Most people when you come in, it's like a welcome screen or something. Mine, you come in here and you talk with the bear. You're gonna be speaking with me right away. Word dog. People say that all the time. This? This? Oh shit. Go ahead. I did not mean to do that. Shut up. Welcome, welcome. How you living, Pam? How are you? Living like a pimp. We're playing chess. What's good in your neck of the woods? Word dog. How are you? I'm getting my ass kicked. I'm black. He's white.
What's up, brother? Hello, how are you doing today? Not better. Where you from? I'm from fucking Young Monkeyville. LA. What happened? LA? Chicago? Chicago. From Chirac. Chi-town. From Iraq. Wild, wild hunters, my friend. Why are you crashing? So we some Morgan Park pimps over here. King David.
Damn it. I did not mean to move it there. I did not mean to move that there. My finger fucking. Go ahead. I appreciate that. Go ahead, though. That's fine. It's fine. Go ahead.
I can't do you like that. Go ahead, take it back.
Okay? Well, then I can't. You have to move. So move in a way that doesn't fuck my guy.
What did I move again?
You moved your queen to F6. Yeah. So, so just move your guy, and I won't do anything to him, and then I'll move my guy back to where it was supposed to go. Your queen. You moved your queen to F6. Oh. F3. I won't. Okay, now I moved him where? Now you move to F6. Now you move your queen to F6. There you go. That's where we were. Or that's where I wanted it to be. Alright. My turn. Nice move. Great move, dog.
Like no choice. I'm gonna move back to the next position. Ice to the side over there by your place.
Oh my word, I didn't see that coming. I really did not see that coming. How did I miss that? Oh, I know why I missed it. You wouldn't see it. But there's a little square that shows my video, and it covered up that. I'm not blaming it. It's my fault. I should have been paying attention. But I'm thinking to myself, why the hell wasn't I paying attention to that fucking rook? Because I couldn't see him. All right, good move. Word, dog. I see it says my turn. Do you know why I can't move my queen to take your bishop? I can't. I'm trying to move. Let's look. Why wouldn't I be able to move get your bishop? Okay, it might be a glitch or something. Here's what I want to do. I'm gonna move my queen. Damn it! I can't even move my queen anywhere. I can't even move my queen anywhere. Like frozen. Okay, just one moment. I'm gonna close and reopen. Just one moment. The hell? Not yet. It's like not even letting me join. It says unable to launch activity. One moment. Let me see. Closing Discord. Yeah, I think so too. Okay, now I'm back. And it keeps booting me. Join voice. Okay. Chess in a park. There we go. Alright. Here we go. Your turn. Okay, now I can move, I think. There we go. And I won. What a fucking comeback by the kid, man. Dude, I made that one fucking stupid ass move and thought I fucked myself. Damn. Ready for another? Excellent. Man, that was weird. That it wouldn't let me make that last move until I quit and came back and everything. That was really weird. Thank you for being so nice to be like, hey, you can redo that move and everything. That's really kind of you. I like playing like that because if not, it's kind of like, well, you get the win, but it didn't really count all the way. There you go, Doug. Exactly. Have you ever played the game Go? Have you ever played the game Go? No. Go is an ancient Chinese game that's like the only game, or one of the only games that's more complicated than chess. And it's really easy to play though. It just has a bunch of different solutions. And like computers work on it, like supercomputers work on it. Anyway, I don't know if you've ever played it. I personally haven't played it, but I've seen a few documentaries on it. The reason why it's very popular in China, but it's very popular amongst computer enthusiasts because there are so many different combinations that could happen. And I didn't know if you'd ever heard of it. Anyway, there's a very good documentary on Go. I forget what it's called. If you're into